Hello guys, I'm in my cozy robe because it's actually cold outside. I might have showed something like this before, but for those who are interested, I'm kind of going to go through the process of how I typically design one of my projects. I prefer to do things digitally. That's just how I like to work. I like the undo button, I like the delete button. I'm not keen on like erasing things. Maybe it's my OCD. What I typically start with is I start with Pinterest. So I go to Pinterest, and this is what I learned in school actually. They would always have us go to Pinterest and type in something that we're interested in. So let's say I feel like, well, first off, if there's nothing in particular that I'm really interested in designing, like if I'm like, I want to draw an illustration today, or I want to draw something that goes on a t-shirt, or maybe I want to dabble in some, like messing with my paintbrushes and I want to do a surface pattern design. If there's something that I have a focus on, I'll type in like surface pattern design, and I will look, and I will literally just scroll. I will scroll and look what's on here, and if there's anything that I find interesting, I have a board that's titled design ideas, and I'll save it to my design ideas. My design ideas board, if I'm scrolling through Pinterest and I really can't find anything that I really like, I will go to my design ideas board and just like scroll through that, and maybe something will look interesting. Like for example, these macaroons here. I had seen several different really cute little macaroon designs, and I love macaroons. And so this was kind of like an inspiration to do an illustration that I did a couple of weeks ago on my Six-Toed Paw Print Instagram account. I designed a little illustration, and I designed it two different ways. One where you have like a background, so if you want to print it out and have it be a cute picture, or if you just want the macaroons to be like a little icon that you put on something. That is one thing that I like about doing digital design, is that I like to keep the options open. I like to keep it so that way I could use this certain thing for something else. So like I said, I would scroll through that, and once I know what I want to design, then I do one of two things. Depends on what it is. If it is like here, they've got like this little printable checklist thing. When it comes to stuff like this, I'll take a piece of paper and I will draw out how I want the layout to look. And then I'll kind of keep that in mind. I actually have a recent brainstorming session. I don't typically do brainstorming sessions. I don't have the patience for them. I never have had the patience for brainstorming sessions, but I recently did one where I folded up this piece of paper. This is my sketchbook. I folded it in half, and then I folded it in half again, and then just drew a line across. And I have all these different layouts. And you can kind of see some color. I did some color design there. Oh, that's it. So you see I did some coloring designs there. That was inspiration for one of the things I'm going to actually show you. So this is actually something that I put in my bullet journal that I've been using all this month of April. This is for sale on Etsy right now. So the self-care wellness checklist. So what I did is I basically took the example that I have, the checklist that I've been using, and it's basically designed almost exactly like this. I just have stickers instead of an actual design. So I use Illustrator, the Illustrator program, more than anything else. And so I basically, when it comes to, like I said, printables, I like to get the basic backbone done first. I try to get everything all lined up. As you can see, like I drew a line here, or I use a guide here. With Illustrator, InDesign is better than this. All those design people out there be like, InDesign is better for rulers. Illustrator doesn't have really good rulers. You have to put them up yourself. So that is something that will take practice of, but I like how Illustrator can manipulate things. And so that said, I made my backbone first. And for this, so this is basically, it's a checklist. You have like a list of things to do every single day. And then over here, you've got all the days listed out up to 30, and then you write the month of. And then because it was so small and I wanted it to be small, I designed one as well for someone to write their own stuff. You know, whatever, if they don't like the list that I had. So once that was all lined up, it was all even. I liked how the typography looked. I liked how everything was measured out. I like the sizes of it. Sometimes I'll even print this out first. I just got my printer working, which is why I have examples. Then I will like kind of highlight and circle. That is one thing that my teachers really encouraged me, is like print out your design. If it's gonna be something that you are actually going to use in the physical world, like something that's printed out, print it out first before you send it in or submit it or mark it as completed. So I printed this out, make sure it was right sizes, made sure it was usable, and then I started to apply the design. Now you kind of already saw the design here. This is one design. As you can see from this, I did a couple of different ones because this is a single page, it's not a packet. I wanted to give several different options because there's so many different ways you can go with this. And so I took that idea that I saw on Pinterest that I wrote down in my little book here, and then I decided to just start designing it. Now sometimes with things like this, because it is like they're shapes, I did design these in Illustrator. I didn't like transfer them from another location. But for example, the other ones over here, the orange one, the triangles, and actually all of them other than the one that I shared with you, I transferred over from my iPad. So all these other patterns and designs are actually patterns and designs that I designed previously. So I'm just like reusing them, which is something that I really like. I try to draw or doodle something like every other day, or at least come up with like a pattern or something every other day, just that way I have like this gallery that I can kind of choose from for things like this, and that ended up working to my advantage. For my iPad, I use a program called Adobe Fresco, and I do use my Apple Pen. I know there are several other apps that you can use. Adobe Fresco so far has been the one that I've liked the most. I've been able to manipulate it very well. It's also free. It works very well when you can save it as a PNG, a JPEG, a PDF. I believe you can save it as a PDF. Yeah, PDF or a Photoshop file, which is what I love because, for example, these little pots and plants here, this was a picture image that I designed. So it had like all the pots and plants, and then I made like a little background for it. But because those pots were a individual thing, like they were on an individual layer and it wasn't all flattened, I was able to transfer the file from my iPad as a Photoshop file to my computer, and then individually grab each pot and plant and put them where I want them. And since I design my images so large, it still looked good, because you can shrink something down and it'll still look good, but when you expand it, it gets pixely. So this is actually a redesign that I just did. And what I mean by that is design several fitness principles that you can use. And so I designed this Tone It Up fitness journal, the one that's like pink and blue, this one right here. And you can even see from this summer fitness one, this is the first one that I thought expired, but I guess it hasn't expired yet. That was my first attempt at doing one. And so I kind of took things that I liked about that one that I did, and then took the other one here, and then I even kind of did a redesign here. This is for fall, so it's like Halloween stuff. But I just recently, this is the one that I just finished. And what I like about these printables is they can be, like this is 8.5 by 11, but this can definitely be shrunk down to be like half a page. So this flower is actually taken from one of the images that I used from the last summer one. I changed up the font, made the font look different. Also, you can kind of see in here, you can see here, and then you can see here. This is actually a pattern, a splatter pattern that I did on my iPad. And then also up here, these little squares and these triangles I drew out. And I also drew the flower, I traced over it actually. But I also changed the lines here. I made them a little swirly. I also changed the colors as well, so it's themed more for the summer series. All right, so you can kind of see here with some of the people, that is one thing that I'm trying to get back into, is practicing drawing people. And think it's Melly's illustrations. I think she's such a big inspiration when it comes to sketch drawing people. I actually have some of her images kind of printed out around my office that I really like. But actually, fun fact, this Make a Splash illustration and Happiness Blooms from Within illustration, those are both pictures of me that I took with clothes that I had just got, and some of my favorite beach hats. Same thing with this one right here, this purple violet lemonade Minnie Mouse one. That is a picture of me with pigtails and some of my favorite Minnie Mouse sunglasses and my pink violet lemonade ears, drinking a violet lemonade. I've been trying to like get into that, and just for printouts that you can just have as like a poster to put up, because I have some that I like from other artists and I thought people may like some, like this one. I love this picture, by the way, it's so pretty. And this one I drew on my iPad. And what I did for when it comes to the people, I've been either taking a picture of myself with the pose, so that way I can kind of get how the arms and the legs are supposed to go. Or I've been, like I said, on Pinterest looking at sketched people, or sketch of person is pretty much the keyword that I have been using to look for different ideas and just see like different body poses and things, and just to kind of get an idea on how to draw them, really. And then for when it comes to font and stuff like that, I'm really not good with typography. So I'm working on my calligraphy. I actually have a calligraphy book that I take pictures of the practice sheets and I practice on my iPad, because that's where I would be drawing them. That is pretty much it as of now. But anyway, I hope you like this. Like I said, if you are interested in buying any of these things, whether it's a t-shirt, you can go on teespring.com, type in Six Toed Paw Prints, and you can see my shirts and things that I've designed, or go to Etsy and type in Six Toed Paw Prints and you can see some of the new stuff that I've been working on. I did this cute little Busy Bee page that I'm actually in love with how it turned out, to be honest with you. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys are all doing well, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.